Good morning, Paterson. Several people asked me why I am wearing an orange and blue suit today. And as much as I want to say it's for the first place New York Mets, it's actually for Eastside High School, where Larry Doby starred in multiple sports. And I was recently at the Paterson Museum and I looked at his yearbook picture, and he mentions playing football and basketball. What was conspicuous by its absence was that he didn't mention he played baseball in his yearbook. But here we are today, celebrating an icon. Let it be noted that he didn't even have any minor league experience to prepare him for what he was going to have to endure. The day before, on July 4th, he was with the Newark Eagles. And then Bill Vick came calling and saying, get ready, you're going to the big leagues. So we want to pay proper tribute to Larry Doby, who stepped up to the plate for civil rights, who stepped up to the plate for equal rights, who stepped up to the plate for human rights and hit a home run. So today, for anyone, especially someone playing at Eastside High School, whenever they step up to the plate, they got to think about Larry Doby, his legacy, his leadership, his courage, and hit a home run too. Leading off today is an honorary Patersonian who I met 5 years ago when we said we are going to bring Hinchliffe Stadium back, where Larry Doby had his tryout for the Newark Eagles, where African Americans play when they were not allowed to play at Yankee Stadium or Wrigley Field or Fenway Park with their white counterparts, but they played in Paterson at historic Hinchliffe Stadium. He's our ambassador for Hinchliffe Stadium. You've seen him on MLB Network, a two-time MLB All-Star and three-time Gold Glove winner. Put your hands together for our leadoff hitter and honorary Patersonian, Harold Reynolds. Go get him, Harold.
Thank you, man.
Go get him, Harold.
Thank you, man. My hype man. Appreciate that. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. First off, how gorgeous is this?
Yes, come on.
I mean, it's amazing. Now, I spent how many years? 13 of my 14 years playing on AstroTurf in Seattle. So I'm partial to turf. I grew up in Oregon, the best grass and trees in the country,
Really?
Except for maybe New Jersey.
Thank you.
But we would have never played because of the rain. Now, we've experienced that here this week. And I'm excited. About the turf. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I got a chance to meet Mr. Dolby back when I was playing in the American League for Seattle. A tremendous, tremendous man. And you always wonder what somebody's like when you don't get a chance to spend time around them. I spent more time around his son than I have him. And my grandmother used to always said, it doesn't fall too far from the tree, right? And when you spend time with his son, and you see some of his siblings in this area or extensions of his family, you can tell that he had a major impact on them as well. Just the generosity, character, the way they carry themselves, a tremendous representation of Larry Doby. So Larry Jr., I tip my cap to you, keeping that legacy alive and carrying the family. I'm sure your dad would be very proud. He'd also be very excited about this ballpark, tremendous place. But on a day today where we get to talk about Larry Doby, I think it really comes down to the character.
Yeah.
A lot of people have done a lot of great things in their lives, but they're not getting dedicated fields, sports facilities, things like that. And you don't do that unless you've done some major impact on other people's lives, and that's been Larry Doby. So I'm excited to be here today. Tremendous to see this ballpark and be able to be part of this tremendous ceremony. So thank you. Congratulations to the Dolby family And thank you to Paterson and to the mayor for recognizing one of the great Americans of all time. Thank you.
Amen.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Look at Harold, always gets on base. That's why he's our leadoff hitter. And Harold was right about Oregon, grass, also gas. Well, we don't pump our gas in New Jersey, but now they do it. I don't know. I think there was a new law. But anyway, we don't want to debate that right now. Grass and gas. We're here to talk about class and Larry Doby. Someone who introduced me to Larry Doby. I met Larry Doby right here on this field on June 1st, 2002. It's a day I'll never forget. He leaves quite an impression upon you. In fact, the gentleman that introduced me was instrumental in securing the state funding that made this transformation possible and knows a little bit about athletics. Arguably the most successful football coach around. Paterson Catholic, I believe, was 7 state championships. Or did I miss one? 7, very good. I did my homework and ate my Wheaties this morning. 7 state championships. One, I was about to go there. Went to Puerto Rico with Eastside High School, Larry Doby's alma mater, and won a championship there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, our director of the Division of Recreation and our state senator here in Legislative District 35, the Honorable Benji E. Wimberly. Nice hat.
Yeah, good morning. Mayor, all the distinguished guests, and obviously Larry Jr. It really was an honor to work with Larry on this field. I just was telling Larry Jr. For a couple of years, me, him, and Joe Topp, who paid the initial cost of the field, came through Joe Topp, the Topp Foundation. We would meet at the bonfire and for lunch, or either Pal's in West Orange for lunch. And the one thing, me and this laugh, he made sure that this field was going to be grass. And I think he would approve this. I think he would approve this being turf because it's a beautiful field. And the one thing I can say, the lessons I learned from Larry Doby are beyond books. Years of sitting with him, having lunch and dinner and different things with him and Joe Topp. I learned so much about Paterson. And the one thing that they always talked about was the old Paterson. Some of the times when it was integration right here in the city of Paterson, when they walked to the movies together, you know, Joe would go downstairs, Larry would go upstairs. And the different areas of town that were segregated. And even though they both grew up on the 4th Ward, you know, Joe on Carroll Street, Larry at 512th Avenue, which my grandparents actually lived on 12th Ave also. I've heard so many great stories. But the one thing that I would say about Larry Doby and this field is, it is literally a field of dreams. I commend our Paterson Old Timers Youth Baseball League for the work that they do with our youth. Eastside High School, our Mighty Ghosts, who will be playing here as their home field. And I always told Larry, he was instrumental in 1993 when we won the county championship, the one and only county championship in baseball for Eastside. He arranged for us to get brand new uniforms. And those uniforms, we said, were amazing, and they led us to championships. We also traveled to Puerto Rico that year as a baseball team, and that is something that these kids will live on forever. It'll be so long forever that one of my former players on Eastside is now the athletic director at Eastside, who was a great baseball player, and just like Larry, a 3-sport athlete at Eastside High School. And I think himself, TJ Hill, and Sean C. Brooks are the only people behind Larry Doby when it comes to varsity letters. Because Larry had the opportunity not only to play baseball, but he ran track also. So this is historical. Mayor, I commend you for putting this together. Director Billy Rodriguez, this is amazing. I can tell you this is something that I know we will make sure is taken care of. And the one thing, David Isom, you don't have to worry about any calls in the morning about the field being out. So we look forward to this being a great day. God bless Larry Doby. God bless Paterson.
Thank you. So as you can see, we have an all-star lineup here. Our first 2 hitters, first 2 speakers, sort of like Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto. Without the money, though, right, Benji? I'm going to go a little out of order. We're going to go the 3rd spot, I guess, would be Pete Alonso, because he was alluded to earlier, a Paterson all-star, the pride of Eastside High School, the current athletic director. And we just today confirmed that Eastside High School's first home game here will be a week from today on May 14th. Ladies and gentlemen who starred professionally in football, TJ Hill.
Thank you, man. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. To just be at this monument, just a beautiful stadium. I want to piggyback on something that Mr. Reynolds said, and also with Senator Wembley. I know him as Coach Wembley. You guys know him as Senator Wembley. That not only did we all know the history of Larry Doby and what he's done. So Coach Wembley, he embraced that same legacy from generation to generation to generation. From his generation passed down, when he was our baseball coach, we wore the number 42 on our hats. We represent so many Negro League players, whether we wore sweatshirts, whether we wore T-shirts, whether we did fundraisers. And to this day, at the generation, I'm just so happy to be a part of this. Not only that he mentioned that, Larry Doby and I share some of the same athletic testaments, me and my my friend Sean Seabrooks in the letters, is that I'm going to pass this down. As long as I'm here in the pillar of Eastside Athletics, I'm going to continue to pass down these generations and his history of not just Mr. Doby, but everything he stood for, everybody came before him. So with that being said, it's a pleasure to be here. Our baseball team will be taking the field next Wednesday here, and we're going to keep this brand going. And like I said, and not only that, it's a big win. It's a big city. It's a big win for the city of Paterson. So not only I want to give special thanks to the Director of Recreation, Director of the DPW, Mr. Billy Rodriguez. Give him applause one more time. Mr. Wembley one more time. And also the mayor for he's such a baseball guy. So because he's such a baseball guy, he does a little more for the baseball facilities than any other facilities. But anyway, thank you for having me, and it's a good one.
Let's go. TJ Hill wanted me to tell you he's also a Mets fan. Thank you, TJ. You didn't want to say anything. There you go, polar bear right there. Now, this doesn't happen without a total team effort. We heard from our senator, but we have an assemblyman who was on the city council who said we have to prioritize improving our public spaces, particularly our athletic fields. And the $116 million investment that we've made in 7 years in improving parks and playgrounds and play spaces started in the first ward with Buckley Field. And Chamberlain Avenue is now become so vibrant because we complemented the new multi-purpose athletic field where you could play soccer, football, baseball, softball. We've complemented it with a new playground and a new basketball court named for Essence Carson, who starred at Eastside High School as well. And let it be known, there's a handball court as well. Billy wants me to always emphasize that. So ladies and gentlemen, our former 6th Ward councilman and our current assemblyman, Al Abdulaziz.
Thank you, man. Nemo. I just hope everyone asks the mayor how many varsity letters he had in high school. That'll be a good question. Right?
It was an L. Loser.
Today's a great day for the city of Paterson and the state of New Jersey. When I was on the council alongside the mayor and many of my council colleagues that were on the council, we always want to make sure our students, our residents, our kids have the top facilities at play. Larry Jr., your father's legacy will never be forgotten. And he deserves to have his name on a state-of-the-art, multi-million-dollar facility. Yeah. And today we're standing here. And the job gets done because, as our senator said, partnerships with the state of New Jersey that invested $2.8 million to make sure that this field gets done. And I'm glad that I'm able to work with our senator to make sure we get these funds here in the city of Paterson. And every child, every athlete that steps foot on this field will always see Larry Doby's name.
Yes.
Because we should never forget that he is the bar. Every athlete that comes out of this city should know what Larry Doby did. And Larry Jr., when I went down to Trent, I met some people throughout the state of New Jersey, and they said my father played with Larry Doby. And we're talking about people from Camden, people from South Jersey, and the first person they mentioned was Larry Doby. And I'm glad to stand here today with the investment from the state of New Jersey that your father's legacy will never be forgotten, and hopefully many athletes will follow his footsteps. And thank you, Mayor, for taking this vision. Director of DPW, I remember in 2018, that midnight call when we said we got to get our fields done, and I'm happy to be here to cut the ribbon. God bless you all, and your father's legacy will never be forgotten. Thank you. I get some varsity letter. You get an honorary.
They said they gave me an honorary varsity letter. I said my letter was L for loser back in high school. That's true, Sarah. I graduated last in my high school class, but we don't want to dwell on the past. We're here to focus on the future in this field. So, nevertheless, I do also want to point out when we brought Hinchcliffe Stadium back to life, we also have a Negro League Baseball museum, and it tells the story of that struggle for civil rights. It tells the story of 20 Hall of Famers who played at Hinchcliffe Stadium, denied that opportunity to play in the bigs, most of them, but have an opportunity now to be enshrined here in the city of Paterson so that when anybody ever visits Hinchcliffe Stadium and goes to the museum, they learn about Cool Papa Bell, Josh Gibson, and of course, Larry Doby. And there's a section reserved for number 14 as well. In addition to this field, we have made millions of dollars of improvements to Eastside Park, which is the crown jewel, Tony, of our park system. It's a flagship park. We've renovated the roller rink, the new playground, which is orange and blue, of course. We also have resurfaced all the roads, repaired the sidewalk. We're focusing on the historic steps, restored the cricket clubhouse, and in the future, renovate little Larry Doby Field, not too far from here. Also the tennis courts, which are orange and blue. You see a theme here. But at this time, I want to thank someone who's representing us from the county level, who's helped invest through open space dollars, the upgrades here at Eastside Park, and that is our county commissioner, Orlando Cruz. Yes, but do better than him.
Thank you, Mayor. To all the dignitaries here and all that are present in this really, truly historic moment. This is what we see when all of our levels of government come together, working for one common goal, which is investing, in this particular case, in our youth, our county, state, and our local, working collectively to ensure that our youth have a safe place for recreation, that our school programs have an opportunity to excel on a state-of-the-art field. So I want to commend everyone who had a hand in putting this together. And obviously, we're here to celebrate, additionally, the legacy of a man who truly broke barriers and is an example to set to our youth that when you work hard and set your mind to something, you can really achieve any goal that's possible. So to Larry Doby Jr., your father legacy lives on here. To the public works team that will be maintaining this field, I know there's a sense of pride when you have something in front of you that you've invested in and that you want to make sure that it continues to stay in the shape that it's in, so that our youth don't go a day without having a field that they can be proud of. And so whenever all of our dollars come together, this is the result. When I join Assemblyman Abdelaziz and Senator Benji Wimberly in the state level, Mayor, we will continue to advocate for those dollars to return back to our hometown of the city of Paterson and continue to invest in youth programming so that our youth have every opportunity to excel. So thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you. Commissioner Cruz alluded to the fact that you have to have all levels of government working together. And when you have both branches of municipal government aligned and create synergy, this is what happens. I tell the members of the municipal council ad nauseum, you share the vision, you share the victory. Today, you see the vision and you will see the victory as well. Council President, with your permission, I want to just call on the lady first because our next speaker went to Eastside High School. As a matter of fact, there's a famous film about Eastside High School. I'm sure you've heard of it, Lean on Me. And you can't have that movie without two people, Morgan Freeman and Maritza Davila. She was in a pivotal scene where he holds up a bat, fittingly enough, and says, they used to call me Crazy Joe, now they can call me Batman. Ladies and gentlemen, the young lady who made that scene along with Morgan Freeman famous, our councilwoman at large and council president emerita, proud, mighty ghost from Eastside High School and neighbor in this area, Maritza Davila. You owe me lunch for that. She owes me lunch for that one.
Thank you so much, Mayor, and thank you to everyone for being here today. I was not expecting, and through protocol, I do want to call my council president up. Come on, council president, come up here. We are a team. When we vote, we don't vote. Yes, we have one individual vote, but we are a body of one. All right. And although a lot of these things were being done through while I was council president, We have our council president here now, Alex Mendez, who's leading the way and assisting the council to make sure that we continue the progress. And so I'm happy to be here today to see this come to fruition. It's been a long time waiting. I literally live right up the street. I come through here every single day before I go to work. And I just want to say thank you for all of the partners. And thank you to our director of DPW, because I know what it means to you. I know that overall public works, but when it comes to parks and recreation, you are number one, as a parent, understanding the necessity of having good facilities for our children and also for our adults. Okay. And so to Mr. Larry Jr., thank you so much. We thank God, for your father. Okay. Because today we are able to celebrate on his behalf. So thank you to our senator, to our assembly, to our county commissioners, and to every partner that made this happen today. Mayor, thank you once again. Your councilwoman here to serve you, Maritza Davila. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, the only part that I had in the movie was, yeah, Mr. Clark.
Told you it wouldn't have been famous without Maritza. No disrespect to Morgan Freeman, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a council president who's chomping at the bit. This morning, he said in anticipation of this announcement, he bench pressed 700 pounds with one arm. We call him the Incredible Hulk, but thankfully his suits don't rip. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, it is. We love it. Our fashion plate of a council president who is advancing our agenda to improve our public spaces, Council President Alex Mendez.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Good morning. God definitely gave us an amazing day today. Yes. It's the rain stopped because we're making history. Talking about the legacy of Larry Doby is talking about not only Paterson history, but American history. And this will not happen without the collaboration of the City Council and administration. So I will speak on behalf of my entire council members of the great city of Paterson. We share the vision. We're investing in our youth. We're investing in the future. This is an amazing project. You hear it before. Eastside Park is totally done. The only thing that we need is to finish a little Larry Doby, and it'll be on the agenda next week, Mayor, to get it done. So it's on the agenda. We're on the way to finish all the entire Eastside Park. We finished with the tennis court, state-of-the-art tennis court, the playground, beautiful, the roller rink. Now we got the legendary Larry Doby totally renovated. I'm excited to be here in front of you. Let's continue the work, the collaboration among the state, county, and local level, because without partnership, we're not going to be able to move forward. This is a clear example of putting politics aside and concentrate on the city of Paterson, improving our community. May God bless the city of Paterson, and may God bless the history of our great Larry Doby. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
I told you he bench pressed 700 pounds. He got to 1,000 later. I want to acknowledge our corporation counsel who knows a little bit about sports, played football in college for Fordham. Eamon Abushi, thank you, Law Director, for joining us. Our road inspector, Anthony Fazinga, I want to acknowledge him because right now there's about like 10 streets that are getting repaved in the east side section and also in the first ward right off of Chamberlain Avenue. So we're happy about that too. We're probably more happy. Well, no, this is the pride right here at this time. We also want to acknowledge former President of the Board of Education, Mr. Manny Martinez. Thank you, Manny, for joining us. And you got the best hat on right now. Let's hear from someone who lives right up the hill that walked here, our Deputy Mayor, proud, an MVP, a most valuable Patersonian, Eli Burgos.
A real honor and pleasure to be here today amongst these giants. Of course, they call me the baby giant. I don't know why, but I have to wear a hat so you can see me. But I played a lot of ball in this park, ran leagues in this park. We used to be able to get all these permits as independent leagues to be able to play. And we used to have an individual by the name of Lou Info, who was a legend here in terms of running the Department of Recreation. And only a person like our Senator Benji Wimberly, our director, could surpass that huge legacy that he left behind. So Benji, you fill those shoes easily. But to all of you that are here today to see this inaugural, I sat right here alongside outgoing Mayor Marty Barnes, incoming Mayor Joey Torres, And of course, our present mayor was here at the time as well, and when the field was initially inaugurated. So there's a lot of memories here. My bag full of equipment was left right here because somebody in DPW called me to play a scrimmage game, and I did, and I pulled a muscle, and a young man that was sitting in the corner got the benefit of receiving my bag full of equipment to continue playing ball here in these parks. So Mayor, thank you very much. No combination of mayors that I can recall, not only in the years that I was with the administration, but in all the years prior, has invested more, and this city council, with their help, with the help of the state, and of course the county, has invested more money in the children and the youth of Paterson in our parks than the current mayor. So I take my hat off to him, Mayor, because you have done the job and you've done it well, and we're very proud, and Paterson is very proud. Thank you very much.
That was very nice. I appreciate that, Eli. You'll speak at every press conference going forward now. We only have a few more speakers, and you heard about him earlier. And I want to talk about passion, the passion that this young man has for parks, the passion that this man has for our youth, the passion that this man has for taking my phone calls every day to ask about the status of projects like this one. And he takes the call. Sometimes it goes to voicemail, but I'll text him and say, call me right away. He knows what it's about. But ladies and gentlemen, he is dedicated to the recreational renaissance that is taking place in the city of Paterson. Put your hands together for the director of the Department of Public Works. And this one's for you, Anthony Johnson, Brian Dable's doppelganger, Billy Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mayor. I have to do it. Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I appreciate you still having, the confidence in me in doing these projects. This is our flagship project. This is what it's about, Mayor. Giving this field back to the citizens of Paterson, the way it came out. I'd like to thank our partners in it. Austin, we got Lee somewhere. Lee's over here. Bobby Zoller from Musco Lighting, do lighting to be in next week. But that's what it's about, giving these fields back, these play areas back to the kids of Paterson so they can get off the streets, so they have somewhere safe to be. This park has to be safe. It's our flagship park. We need everybody to come here and enjoy themselves. Families, come play some competitive games. We needed the field because DJ was bothering me every night about flooding, about the stands. So we had to make DJ happy. And we had to give it back on this day because today's DJ's birthday. Everybody clap it up for DJ. It's his birthday today. So happy birthday. This is a present for you, my man. To Vito, to Nelson, everybody to Ralphie, to TJ, everybody that's going to be having their teams out here competing. I'd just like to say thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it.
Another round of applause for Director Rodriguez, Coach Dable. So, DJ, we unfortunately, well, I can tell you that the reason why we scheduled for today is because we want to celebrate your birthday. I just didn't get a Fudgy the Whale ice cream cake from Carvel. Sorry about that. You got a brand new field for your birthday. There you go. It doesn't get better than that. Yeah, there you go. Right there. Two more speakers. You heard Billy allude to the individuals that made this possible as far as on the transformation side. So for a few words, we want to hear from Austin, who's always eager to speak at any of my announcements at ribbon cuttings for new fields in Paterson. Austin.
Thank you. Thank you, Austin. First, I just want to say thank you to everybody who was involved to making this happen. We stand here proudly, from city leaders to local families, to mark this major milestone for Paterson. This moment is more than just a field. It's about the community. It's about teamwork. It's about creating a space for the youth to grow, to dream, and to make memories that will last a lifetime. This field represents opportunities, and opportunities is what we as a team continue to provide to this community. So again, I want to say thank you. It's always a pleasure coming out here, being able to say a few words, see everybody smiling, all the excitement about a new field that comes to the town. So thank you to the mayor. Thank you to everybody involved. Thanks.
Very well done. I also want to acknowledge the president of the Friends of Paterson Parks, a nonprofit organization that we created so we can raise money to improve our parks and invest in our youth. Fred Artis, thank you for joining us as well. Last but certainly not least, there was two things we needed to host this ribbon cutting today. Beautiful weather and Larry Doby Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, by the grace of God, we got this weather today, and we got Larry Doby Jr. to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the son of Larry Doby Sr., Larry Doby Jr.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that made this possible. It's a wonderful tribute to my dad, and it's hard to believe, Benji, it was over 20 years ago that we were here and actually dedicating the field for the first time. But the reason why it's important is because Paterson was a magical city to him and my mother growing up. He met my mother at Eastside High School, married and had 5 children. We all were born in Paterson hospitals. And the coaches and the teachers that took an interest in him enabled him to achieve the things that you guys honor him for today. So it was always important to him that the youth had a place to play, that they would go to school and educate themselves and become better citizens. And I can't think of a better thing that would make him happy than knowing that people are going to get the same opportunities to play on fields like this that, you know, he had as a kid, and hopefully, you know, go to college or maybe make it even to the pros one day. So it happened because people in Paterson didn't forget my father, and my father didn't forget Paterson. So I thank you guys, and hopefully this will be the start of a great season for the Eastside Goats.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
There are 2 places in the United States that have statues to pay tribute to Larry Doby: Cleveland and Paterson, New Jersey. In fact, one of my favorite stories amongst the many that I know of Larry was the fact that he hit the first home run. The first African-American to hit a home run in the World Series was Larry Doby to win. There's a famous picture of Larry Doby hugging Steve Gromek, the pitcher, which at that time, unfortunately, created so much controversy. But when you go to our new museum and you see it, it'll inspire you. And it'll actually have you appreciate his struggle more, knowing at that time he was criticized for taking that picture. But today I want everybody to take a picture and see for yourselves the gentleman who was instrumental in integrating baseball in the American League. And to him, our tribute to his legacy is producing a field of dreams, but also a field of destiny. His destiny was to be legendary. That's why we call him Larry Legend. Many destinies will be written here, and hopefully anyone that plays on his field will follow in his legendary footsteps. Thank you very much. DPW, thank you. Let's move this podium so we can cut the ribbon on the new and improved Larry Doby Field. Yes! Dave Razik, everybody, come on. Everybody join us. Sandy Mack, let's go.